Those familiar with the Saints Row series know that each new sequel has taken what was originally a GTA clone and turned itself into a humor-filled open-world smorgasbord of excess. Some might say this is the natural progression of such mayhem, but regardless of your thoughts, Saints Row offers something different in the open-world shooting and driving marketplace. Saints Row 4 is the most extreme version of this expression. The character creator and a lot of the architecture are holdovers from Saints Row the 3rd, as is the base level of humor and celebrity cameos, but a lot of that humor has been expanded through the addition of superpowers and licensed music to punctuate certain scenes of the game. These sequences are far and few between, however, and the implementation of the superpowers made me long to find a 360 and play Crackdown again. The way the world is designed and the way the powers work don't exactly lead to fluidity of gameplay. A lot of what makes the powers click is hidden in upgrades, but the way the super jump, super sprint, and glide work together is less an empowering mode of traversal and more small pockets of enjoyment that come to abrupt stops. A good example is how many of the buildings that house the clusters needed to upgrade your powers on their roofs have overhang, so a jump next to the house will meet with resistance, sending you tumbling back to the ground. Hunting the clusters as you're making your way around the world is very time-consuming as well, and comes off like busy work. A lot of the missions and side missions have that air about them. It's clever that the side missions give you excuses to engage in these side activities that fill your percentage bar, but then you have the main missions introducing such elements loosely tied into the story as well. The map ends up looking like an Ubisoft game, with all these things to do that require your attention. A lot of it being required if you want to make sure your abilities and weapons are upgraded and ready to take on the next challenge.
Sorry, didn't catch that.
This ended up sounding a lot more negative than I wanted it to. I think some of the issue is continuing to play the game after recording my impressions footage, and burning myself out on what was on offer a couple of hours later. Sadly, that happened before I wrote this, and my experience colored what is supposed to be just from a small play session. I'll do my best to stop that happening in the future. To end on a positive note, I love the creativity of the character creator that allowed me to make a fat orange Brit with you as face paint. Hey, if you're gonna be the president, you gotta show it. A lot of the banter between characters was quite humorous, and while I burnt out on the collectathon in terms of clusters and side content, I can see the appeal there for others. At the very least, I can turn on the classical radio station and go on a rampage, all without being in a car. It's the little things, you know?